All right, we are back on the Andre Duke Show with Carter Smith. I got Richie joining me tonight. How we doing, Rich?
Happy Halloween, Duke.
Yep, happy Halloween. I guess we can start. It just came out right now that Ashton Daniels is going to start for Hugh Freeze on Saturday.
Oh, wow. What a surprise.
Yeah, they're paying Jackson Arnold all that money to sit on the bench. It is fascinating times down there at the Plains. We got that going on. We have all of the coaching carousel stuff going on. There is a ton of stuff, and one of the things that I want to get into is the fact of, when it comes down to it, what happens if Lane Kiffin doesn't go to Florida?
I still think he's staying at Ole Miss, man. Florida, they're going to probably get an up and coming coach.
I don't know if you're an up and coming coach. Do you go to Florida?
Oh, I mean, it's still one of the blue bloods. You know, if you've got a proven track record, why not be that guy to turn that around since Urban?
Well, I just sent you something, but keep that to yourself. What do you think about if that happens?
Pandemonium.
It'll be a nuclear meltdown in Hottie Toddy land. But so we have that going on. The bizarre happenings that are LSU athletics. I watched that press conference this morning. They named an interim athletic director. The governor is involved. I don't know where the bottom falls out of this, because there's people freaking out about everybody getting involved down there in the bayou, but I look at it as, would it be any different if it was at, let's say, Ohio State? You don't think Jim Tressel would be involved? He's lieutenant governor.
He might. Yeah, I want to see that happening. I mean, I could see that happening. Why not?
And
he won an Natty. He's got to have a say in it. You know, like, I wouldn't be surprised if if that were the case with Ohio State, Urban would have a say in it as well.
Right. And that's like also Penn State getting Matt Rule paid in an extension, because he signed an extension, I think, yesterday or today. I think the whole thing is fascinating to me when it comes to the Rule stuff. And, Penn State being what it is, I think Penn State and Florida are going to be the ones to get their feelings hurt. Also, I think Marcus Freeman is going to have to send out just a mass email to say no to everybody. Hartline looks like he's emerging as the Penn State front
I don't know.
runner.
I saw what was his name? Was it Sam Pittman?
Yeah, Sam Pittman got interviewed. Here's the thing. If they go the Pittman route, that means that they're hiring a stopgap coach to bring someone else in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it would be like a permanent thing. Just breaking right now, Arch Manning game time decision for Vandy.
Wow.
So if you couple that with Vanderbilt coming to town, that just stinks of not good.
Not good at all.
In my
Number
thing,
one consensus, number one preseason.
well,
Now
here's the deal.
Arch is doubtful for tomorrow. Questionable.
Here's the other thing too. What people are going to leave out is they also have to go on the road to Georgia.
That's a loss. That's a
So
loss right there, Duke.
if you drop Vandy and Georgia, you're going to have some highly upset Longhorn fans.
They're at 8-4, 7-5, maybe 6-6.
Is it time to make a change in Austin?
Could be.
Is that on the table? And if USC drops to Nebraska, is it? I know Herbie said something the other day. It's Herbie, so take it with a grain of salt. You know, he says a lot of things. But I've also heard other people say some things too. We could have 20 openings on this cycle.
Yeah, which to me is crazy. I mean, I've never seen that many in mid-season.
We go from the slowest cycle probably ever with like one or two P4 jobs coming open to now we flip it to where when was the last time that LSU, Oklahoma, and Texas could be potentially open and Penn State?
I've never seen it before in my lifetime.
I bet that's never happened in the modern passing era of football. And also a side note, Jeremy Pruitt got reinstated by the NCAA. He's going to be working at Jacksonville State as an assistant. So that smells to me. Smells like somebody wanted to avoid litigation.
Sounds like it.
So you have that. You've got also other things out there because Florida thought they were going to be the belle of the ball, and then in walks LSU.
Yeah.
Especially in Neil McCready on MPW Digital caught tons of crap from the Mississippi State fan base about saying potentially Jeff Lebby threw his name out there. If Venables loses this weekend at Tennessee, they're out of the playoffs. Does Oklahoma make a change?
The way things are going now in college football with the coaching carousel, Duke, I put 100 on it.
Because we could potentially, and Levy's he went to Oklahoma, even though he's from Texas. Could he throw his hat in the ring? It would be a tough sell to the fan base, but
yeah, would be.
But it's one of those things. And then also to kind of cap out the opening here, YouTube TV says hello to ESPN.
Yeah. Don't get me started.
So there you have that going on this weekend. You have there's Texas Vandy. Also I
mean, I don't know how I'm gonna watch the games when I get back from Columbus tomorrow. You know? I gotta figure something out quick.
The best thing I could tell you to do, the cheapest route, is that you can get the just ESPN Plus, and that will let you watch everything on ESPN. I don't know about ABC. You could go to your local Best Buy and buy a cheap antenna, bunny ears, and you just plug that thing. It goes into your HDMI, so that'll give you ABC, NBC, your local channels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of jockeying on the remote, but those are your best options. You can buy the basic ESPN Plus package. It's like $12. But who knows how long this is going to last?
Right, exactly. I was looking into some options you told me about earlier today, and I don't know. It's they know what they were doing. Disney and YouTube, they knew what they were doing leading up to this.
Oh, because I think it's gonna be one app, one streaming app.
Yep.
Eventually, they'll call it something else, and it'll have everything you ever wanted on it, sports wise.
Yep. Yep.
So, I guess I'll dive in. You probably didn't watch the interim athletic director press conference at LSU today. Um, One of the things that stuck out to me that they kept reiterating was this is LSU, we win championships. And to say the least, I will give them credit. They did have basketball rolling with Will Wade, even though that is, to be desired. But one of the things that stuck out to me is that they went down to the field, and I think it was the determining factor when the game was out of reach, and it was right before the fourth quarter started. Death Valley, you can go back and watch it. That was one of the comments that I had made is when it looks empty there, it was cleared out.
Yep, from last Saturday. Oh yeah, it was. I've never seen Death Valley like that ever since I've been watching college football.
It would have to give it back to the Jerry DiNardo days, and then they also said that the new interim AD, former player, went to LSU, has full autonomy to hire the next coach. And they tried to paint it as that they mutually parted ways. And also, I did some digging on the Brian Kelly stuff. LSU is going to try to get out of that buyout.
Oh yeah, I mean they're gonna come to an agreement somehow.
And there is an article on, it's called NOLA.com. I don't know how credible of a news organization it is, but it is simply what they wrote. A writer wrote that about some unsavory stuff about Brian Kelly. And I don't know what's all in that contract. It's going to be fascinating if it's true.
Yeah.
And I will just say that he also in 2022, shortly after he took the LSU job, he filed for divorce. And then after he signed the contract, a protective order on the money. So I don't know. So
it's very interesting, dude. Very interesting.
Because of
he's a shady individual, man.
And that's not even talking about the scissor lift situation.
No. I did see something about a former player that he tried, he was trying to get what was it? Trying to like medically redshirt or something, and
yeah, I seen that tweet.
Brian Kelly talked him out of it, and
that tweet has since been deleted as well. So I don't know what that comes into it. It is a very fascinating ordeal there. Also, we have Memphis killing Rice right now. Also, Belichick in North Carolina are taking on Fran Brown right now. The Q's up 7-3. Memphis is killing Rice. Rice looks like a whole bunch of fans showed up dressed as empty seats. So there is that. I also feel like I don't think we've heard the end of the Brian Kelly LSU thing. I think this is going to go on for a while.
It's going to be a good several months.
So, I mean, the governor publicly coming out saying the new AD is not going to be able to hire the new coach. I find that fascinating. It's to the point to where if I am a sitting head coach, do you take another look and reevaluate the LSU thing about going there?
Yeah.
I mean, you have
You kind of have to.
you have the governor
Yeah, if
dictate.
the governor's putting his hands in it, you're just it's like I don't know, man.
Although the board of supervisors did come out and say that the Louisiana taxpayer is not liable for any of the coaching contract. $0 the taxpayer is going to shield in that, I guess. That's what they said. I'm assuming, according to Tiger Droppings, a message board that's popular among LSU people, Tiger Droppings says some tech billionaire that went to LSU is funding the goings on in this and helping them shield some of the blame. I don't know. I'm not on Tiger Droppings, but I seen a screenshot of it via message board geniuses. So there is that. Also, one other off-topic thing: when Andy Reid retires, does Josh Heupel take up the torch for the fat coach in football? He's the face, right?
Yeah,
I'm
Bobby Hill.
just saying. I think he takes up the face of that. But also, I guess we can look at some of the games this weekend. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna try to live stream the Vandy, Texas. I want to see how that shakes out. If Pavia's got any magic on the road in the city of Austin. I believe Texas is a 2.5 point favorite. Do you lean Vandy in that?
Oh yeah, I totally lean in Vandy with that, especially with Arch being questionable for tomorrow night. It's not looking good for Texas, man. It's not looking good for Sark. Um, Vandy's playing good football, man. I mean, they played a hell of a game against Mizzou last week. Hell of a game.
So that I think if Vandy wins that outright, it's going to get loud in Austin.
It's going to be deafening.
And so leads me to the next question, or well, next game. How loud does it get in Coral Gables in Miami if they drop one on the road to SMU? They shouldn't.
They shouldn't, no.
But I feel like SMU being at home, Miami hasn't left the state of Florida all year.
Sneaky game, trap game for Cristobal, because he's kind of like the James Franklin of the ACC, Duke.
And does Miami make a change?
Shit, man.
I mean, seriously.
What if that were to happen? What are we up to? 22 job openings?
I think there's 12 right now. Although the dude got hired at Kent State, but
go Flashes, Mark Carney. Hey, Kent is prime in the driver's seat right now. Hopefully, make a bid at the MAC championship.
They have made their decision. They are sticking with it. Although I did see Kent State ponied up for him. They're paying him $550K.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, man. Why not at Kent State?
I would have thought with all your vast connections at Kent State, we could have broken that news, but Pete
yeah, I mean, we had some back channels. I was told not to talk about certain things and got to keep a tight lip close to the vest,
Although, just my assessment, Kent State should bring back the 2 bolts on the helmet with the old early 2000 jerseys. That's got the white lightning.
The old logo, like where it says Kent State in the logo?
No, it's just got the lightning bolts on it.
Oh, yeah, those are sweet.
So I don't know. I figured Kent State would be hitting up Julian Edelman. Hey, why don't you give us some of that podcast money so we can go acquire talent? Because for the longest time in the MAC, Kent State was good.
Yeah, I remember when Edelman was quarterback, because he was my age. I mean, him and I are the same age. I mean, they were. I think they played in the MAC championship, or they were close to, but they lost a couple games, and they were competitive. They were really competitive. I knew and they were. I think I went to one game, maybe one or two Kent games my entire time at Kent.
Got you on that. So I guess we'll move on. Georgia, Florida. Billy Gonzalez, interim head coach. Georgia sometimes starts slow on offense. Does Florida have a chance?
Florida's running into a buzzsaw. Kirby's probably going to put up 50 tomorrow. They are a wounded Gator football team.
Now, here's where I stand on this. Billy worked at Alabama while Kirby was there, I do believe. They're probably friends. I don't think Kirby takes his foot off the gas.
No, I don't think he does either.
So you have that element of it, and plus, Kirby being a Georgia boy, he's going to want to beat, because it was a close game last year when Billy was calling ball plays. So I think I'm going to stream that one too. I mean, Indiana plays Maryland in the same time slot, but I think we're looking at a lamb before slaughter. Also, I was looking at Oklahoma, Tennessee being a elimination game as well. I don't know where you stand on that one, but Tennessee, I think, is a 3-point favorite.
It's at Tennessee, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's do or die. It's do or die for Venables. I mean, yeah, it is an elimination game, and hey, his job's on the line tomorrow.
And also, I think we have to say this, but Texas A&M is for real this year, right? Barring some catastrophic.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think they.
Oh, speaking of Texas A&M, they go to Austin the last week of the season. So
yeah, Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, that Friday.
So Sark has, out of his next couple of games, he's got Vandy, he's got Texas A&M, and he's got Georgia. That's not a good time.
That's a gauntlet.
I also feel like kind of in an elimination game, Texas A&M is taking on Kansas State. Texas Tech, Tech is taking on Kansas State, and they are on the road. Don't know what the weather is going to be like there, but it's going to be fascinating. I think Texas Tech rolls. I don't see why they wouldn't. Also, Notre Dame taking on Boston College, the fighting Bill O'Briens. I don't give them much of a chance.
I don't either. What if Bill O'Brien? Bill O'Brien, he was at Penn State, then he jumped ship to Houston, the Texans, right?
Yes. Billy O hated
he hated his time at Penn State.
Because you had so many people, and I think that is one of the reasons why Franklin stayed employed so long. Outside of winning, he won. That's one thing that I think people should realize is that James Franklin won a ton of games at Penn State in his 12 years. He won a bunch.
He did.
Also, Ohio State hit their two hires out of the park, Urban Meyer and Ryan Day. So technically, James Franklin was in the same conference with two Hall of Famers, because Ryan Day's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, the winning percentage, I don't think he even has double-digit losses yet at Ohio State. I think he's
No, I
like
think he's got like 8.
he's got 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But I think that the James Franklin era at Penn State will get swept under the rug. Also, the other thing is that some people have pointed out that when Matt Rule signed the extension with Baylor, before he departed to go to the NFL, it was 4 months before that. Is that something or nothing?
I don't think it's nothing. I think he's committed to Nebraska.
I think he's already seen that. He's made that decision one time, and I don't think he'll make it again.
Right.
Georgia Tech. Here's my thing with the ACC. I don't know what they're going to do, because you could have 3 or 4 10 and 2, 11 and 1 teams that don't make the conference championship. Let's say in a perfect world, Georgia Tech wins out and they go 11. Let's say they lose to Georgia, go 11 and 1, right? Don't make the conference championship. If you're on the playoff committee, and let's say Tennessee goes 10 and 2, who gets in?
I say Georgia Tech. I mean, if they go 11 and 1 and they lose their last game to Georgia, that's just, to me, that'd be asinine not to put them in.
Okay, let's
because they beat, mostly everybody in their schedule except their rival. And that's like the same case for Ohio State, something for, Ohio. Do you put Ohio State in? I mean, they went 10 and 2. They lost to their rival. You put them in. They put them in last year. Look what happened.
Here's another scenario. Let's just say Auburn happens to beat Alabama. You have 10 and 2 Alabama going up against 11 and 1 Georgia Tech. Who you putting in?
We all know what that answer is. They're going to put in Bama.
But why is it different? Because it's Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee's 2 losses would be to Georgia and Alabama.
Transitive property.
Well, I don't know if it's transitive property, but if you look at, although I do think the strength of schedule thing is a lot of mental masturbation, to be honest.
It is.
But I feel like you should put Tennessee in over Georgia Tech. Look at the body of work.
The body of work, but Georgia Tech only had 1 loss though, Duke. They went 95% of the regular season undefeated, and they lose the last game. You can't really punish them for that.
So here's the other thought exercise. 10 and 2 Notre Dame versus 11 and 1 Georgia Tech. Who you putting in?
I'd put it Notre Dame.
But
first two games right on the they played A&M and Miami.
But you give the bump to Notre Dame and Alabama, but Tennessee doesn't get the bump?
No.
What? That is...
No. Screw Tennessee.
That is... But see, this is the thing. I've had people tell me the playoff picture is going to work itself out. It's going to work itself out, but I don't know if it can. How does it work itself out if you have those issues? Because if the ACC gets screwed, which if you look at the, body of work and past dealings with the playoff committee, I mean, they had the Florida State year, they went undefeated and didn't get in.
Well, the playoff committee they view the ACC as a lesser conference now, Duke. I think they're viewing the ACC as a Power Five.
You mean Group of 5?
They're a Group of Five. Group of Five, yeah, not Power
So
Four.
what do you do
Whatever.
if you're the ACC and Georgia Tech goes 11-1, doesn't play in the conference championship game, and then they get left out for a 10-2 SEC team? Ole Miss could go 10-2, but the thing with Ole Miss is that if you look at their roster and look at, or not the roster, but if you look at the schedule, their best 2 wins are Arkansas and LSU. And LSU, for all intents and purposes, by the end of the year, could be a corpse. I mean, something has to give here. And while the American commercial is playing, Tulane has eliminated themselves. Sorry to see that for John Summerall, but the best thing that they could probably do is maybe win the American. But
watch out for those South Florida Bulls.
yeah,
I told you.
That's that. And you have absolute chaos right now because of the conference sizes. I don't know. Let me pull up some schedules here, but I don't know
Here's what I think they should do. Screw the rankings the whole way up through the year. Screw them. Come playoff time, you rank the teams. You rank them and you seed them, regardless.
So you want to go? Well, see, the reason I totally agree with you, but here's the problem. The networks need that.
Oh.
They need Bill in Duluth, Minnesota, that is just a meatloaf on Monday, that is going to turn on his TV and probably watch either Big Ten or SEC football, and he's going to want to watch Alabama versus number 1 Georgia or number 2 Alabama, because they can sell it number 1 versus number 2. They just can't sell the brand. And it's like Cincinnati. If Cincinnati wasn't ranked, the Utah game loses its luster. You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. I mean, it comes down to brass tacks, dollars and cents, Duke. That's all. I get that, but to me, I think if you throw the rankings out, you get the playoff committee, you rank the teams, and you seed them accordingly, regardless of if they won the championship or how they finish, whatever. I think that would work better.
Now, here's the other thing. Let's say Georgia Tech beats Georgia and they're 12-0, and they play Miami or pick an ACC team, and they lose the conference championship, and they get left out of the playoffs. Is that the end of the conference championships across all leagues?
I would say so.
But I don't know how you do that with the money that's committed to it. You see the fundamental issues here?
Oh, I see the fundamental issues.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying what would be on the table, because if you're the commissioner of the ACC, your biggest selling point is because of with the revenue, which when Florida State and Clemson bitched about the revenue split, they're not going to be the ones getting it because they're not very good right now. And the TV numbers play into consideration for that. But Clemson's season, for all intents and purposes, is over. Florida State's season is over. You have Virginia. That's going to draw big numbers because they're still in it. Georgia Tech is still in it. And I'm not trying to go on the ACC tirade here, but I'm just saying they changed the revenue split because they wanted the teams with the most visibility to get the money. I think that's fundamentally flawed because look at LSU. They draw a huge TV number, but they're out of the playoffs. They're done. Yeah. They're done like dinner. And you want to know where it's going to get real bad? Let Arkansas go in there and beat their ass at noon. Look at how empty that stadium will be.
It'll be some. I know. I mean, I get your point. It's gonna it's gonna look bad, man, if that happens.
And then we'll slide on over to the big.
Numbers wise, and just
It's a huge revenue loss.
huge.
And nobody's talking about Willie Fritz in Houston. Nobody's talking about Willie Fritz in Houston. Houston was my massive overbet as far as looking at records. I picked them to go 12-0. They're 7-1 right now. Was 12-0 a little overzealous? But then again, you got to remember, if Texas Tech loses another one, they could fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing but hired guns there. That's all I'm saying. And they can't throw tortillas anymore.
Yeah.
And I'd seen some people ask me about, some people I work with ask me about what's Michigan's path to the college football playoff. I think they have a path to get there because I'll read the teams off of who they got. They got Michigan has Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland. Those are all 3 winnable games.
Yes.
And when Ohio State comes to town, I don't know. I'm not going to say yes, no. Ohio State has been favored all 4 times.
Throw the records out, throw the stats out, throw everything out with that game, because last year was a clear-cut example of how that game can go. I was there because weren't they a 20-point favorite, 17-point favorite last year, Duke? Do you remember?
27.5.
Yeah, 27.5 favorite, and they laid a damn egg, running up the 18 stretch and 12 zone up the middle in the teeth of that defense. When you have wideouts on the perimeter, you couldn't throw the ball to him, and Michigan shut you down.
Yep.
That game, I'm telling you, like I still don't have a good feeling about this year. Ohio State can go up there. I mean, as much as I pound the table that I love Ohio State and I hate that team up north, they're going to do whatever it takes to beat Ohio State to spoil that season.
Breaking news. Rhett Lashley signing an extension with SMU to make him one of the top 10 highest paid coaches in college football. Because Arkansas leaked his name out there, they got him paid. So, and if he signs the deal, that drives the buyout up majorly. I don't know where this coaching carousel is going to end. I think they're going to be hiring,
they're going to be hiring guys from
everywhere.
Everywhere. Probably Mount, probably Walsh University, Blue Mountain State. Shit, any SC LSU. Hell, I heard they might try to bring Coach Klein out of retirement.
I don't know, man. I don't know where the buck stops on this. It also, let's not forget, Louisville is also 6-1 as well in the ACC. And for all intents and purposes, let's say Indiana and Ohio State are both undefeated in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
Ohio State probably wins. But what's the off chance that if Indiana loses the Big Ten championship game and they don't get a home game in the playoffs, is that cause to get rid of the Big Ten championship game or the SEC championship game? Because I think the championship games are on life support with this committee.
Yeah. Because that's Duke. That's a perfect example. Ohio State, Notre Dame, or Ohio State, Indiana, going undefeated to that conference championship game. Where are you going to rank Indiana? I mean, they beat everybody on their schedule, and you're going to punish them for losing a conference championship game? Where are you going to seed them? Like 9, 10?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I mean, that's
It's bullshit. I mean, as much, I'm happy that Indiana is competitive. Cignetti has, they have my attention this year too, with possibly making a run in the playoffs. Um, and how Cignetti has those guys playing out there in Bloomington, putting them and making them play on the road. Come on, man, get out of here with that. They got to think of something, man. Like you said, I think I've been thinking that too, Duke, with the conference championship games being on life support. They don't mean that much.
not to look ahead too much, but one thing I'll be fascinated with is what TV number does LSU Alabama draw, because I'm looking at next week. It's a 7:30 kick on ABC. What do you think the TV number is on that? It's going to be huge, you would think. It's Alabama LSU.
Yeah.
But LSU, for all intents and purposes, is a corpse.
And that game is at Alabama, or is that out at LSU?
It's at Alabama. Let's go down LSU's schedule real quick. LSU
got them up.
LSU has Alabama. I mean, they have an open date this week. They have Alabama, Arkansas, Western, which they should win that, and Oklahoma.
Well, it's going to be somber faces when LSU goes into Bryant-Denny next week. I don't think they. I just had that. Only looks good for them. That's another L. So that's 4 losses for LSU. Arkansas, that's up in the air. They'll win. But Duke, what if Oklahoma loses another? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Do you move on from Venables?
Is he in what, year 3?
Yeah.
3 and out. I mean, that's what it's looking like nowadays in college. It's starting to look like the NFL model in the coaching cycle with coaches. 2 years. Most new hires in the NFL, 2 years and gone. Rinse and repeat. Get somebody else in there.
Where do you think Brian Kelly coaches again?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets him in the. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Dolphins.
I don't think they'd hire him in the NFL. I think
they would.
I think that snippet of his life has passed. He's 64 years old.
Don't matter. The Raiders hired Pete Carroll. He's
but Pete Carroll
78.
Pete Carroll's 74, but Carroll has a track record. He's been, I think, in the NFL, a head coach in the NFL longer than what he was at USC. So here's my synopsis on the Brian Kelly thing. I think he goes back to where he had all his success. I think he ends up somewhere in the Big Ten. Michigan State would be a good spot for him because the fans are pissed at their coach, Jonathan Smith. It hasn't gone well. But I don't think Michigan State. Here's the thing with Sparty.
They threw him into the fire.
They haven't given him any resources, and they expect him to win. That's the thing that bothers me more than anything. They give these coaches no resources to acquire talent. Like, it's crazy that Ole Miss is raising money hand over fist in Mississippi. And with everything they're doing with Lane Kiffin, they're raising all this money to acquire talent, and it shows. But also, like I said, Florida's been playing football for 100 years. It took Spurrier to show up over 100 years. It took him, 90 years to win the SEC. That's where I'm at on it. I don't think that, and I think it could get real ugly because we'll dive down the Florida hole. I think it gets ugly because This week they have Georgia. If they get blown out against Georgia, they're going to quit. I think Georgia's on, or not Georgia, but Florida is on quit watch.
I think you got Florida on quit watch, and I think you got LSU on quit watch.
I think at the LSU thing, I wouldn't be shocked if you see a bunch of guys if they get mollywopped by Alabama, you see a bunch of guys opt out. I think that's coming. But
hit the portal.
Here's the other thing. Can Mark Stoops save it if he beats Florida at Kentucky? He has a hell of a buyout too. He's like $60 million.
Speaking of Stoops, if they fire Venables, do you think they're going to go after Bob? Bring Bob back?
No.
You don't think?
No. Because here's where it is for Florida. You have Georgia, Kentucky. You're probably going to lose to Georgia. Kentucky, to me, is a coin flip. You have Ole Miss, and I'm sure Kiffin hasn't forgot you beat him last year. No Napier there. So Kiffin's probably going to score about 1 million on you. Although Florida's defense has been good this year. And then you have Tennessee come to town, and then you end it with Florida State, which, well, who knows what Florida State's going to be. But you got Gus calling ball plays, so they're going to score points, even though they looked like hammered dog shit against Stanford.
Yeah.
And Florida's going to be, I don't know, does DJ Lagway stay at Florida?
Duke, I think he hits the portal.
I think he does too. And I think DJ Lagway, Auburn Tiger.
Ooh.
Because I don't think Auburn's going to fire Hugh Freeze. I think they're just going to stay put.
Wait it out. But didn't they get a quarterback in last year's recruiting class?
Yeah, Deuce Knight.
Yeah, Deuce. That's what it was. Deuce Knight. Yep.
And from what I've heard is he's not ready, not even close to being ready. So I think that for all intents and purposes, Ole Miss is sitting in the driver's seat. They have South Carolina, the Citadel, Florida, Mississippi State. But they got to go to Starkville. That's the issue. Remember, ring your cowbell responsibly.
Got to have more cowbell, Duke.
And Memphis just like onside kicked it, and I think they just recovered it. So they are absolutely thrashing Rice right now. Syracuse got the ball driving on UNC up by a touchdown. I think going down the stretch here, we're going to see more guys getting fired. A sneaky game that's coming up November 14th on a Friday night. Could Dabo snake one away from Jeff Brom? Everybody's left Clemson for dead.
Yeah, I think Jeff Brom wins it.
That is.
I think the ACC. You're going to see LSU, Louisville, and Georgia Tech in the ACC championship.
Well, what about Miami?
We'll drop one. We'll drop another. I think the SMU game is the one that they drop, and they won't snap the ACC championship.
And you know the other thing that is fascinating, coming into the year, you had the Penn State was supposed to be a big game, and now it's, what do you do with that? And I still can't believe Fox made that a big noon kickoff. I'm just saying.
I gotta get up. I mean, I'll be up early regardless at 4:15, and I probably won't go back to sleep. Pops and we're probably leaving 7:30. Talk about being. I hate the noon games, man. I wish it was a 3:30 game.
Eamon chimes in. Kiffin stays at Ole Miss. Hartline stays at Ohio State. Penn State, Florida end up to settle. LSU job is wide open. And a top 3 job. Well, I don't disagree with LSU being a top 3 job. The problem is that the political theater that has went on around that. You have the governor firing the athletic director. You got Brian Kelly. They're fighting him on the buyout. It just seems like
the whole thing stinks.
I mean, it reminds me of when Orgeron at the end, Les Miles at the end. The only person that got out of there unscathed was Saban.
Yeah.
And he goes to the NFL, and it was, it was what it is.
But they won the national title in 2004. Was that the next year he went to? Did he go to? Was that the year 2005? Did they win that, or was it 2000?
It was technically, I think, 2005, but the 04 season.
04 season. Okay, yeah, because I was working Hall of Fame that year. That's when they played. Yep. Okay, now I remember. Yep. Because the Dolphins played in that game, and he was there. Dolphins and the Bears play in that game now. However.
Yeah, so I think that do they grab Dabo? I don't know. I don't think Dabo fits LSU. I think really a lot of this is going to depend on what Kiffin does to a certain extent. But I think there's more jobs that are going to come open that are better than LSU.
USC?
SC comes open? Does SC
you think Lincoln Riley heads to the NFL?
It depends on what
Duke.
comes open.
Think about Duke. I mean, you're going to have Miami open. You're going to have.
That's funny, Amen. Well, here's the deal. Here's the whole thing wrapped up. If USC comes open, who does USC hire?
His brother, Garrett.
No. If USC comes open, does SC have the audacity to pick up the phone and call Kiffin or Sark, 2 guys they've fired?
No, I don't see that happening. Maybe James Franklin.
And there was smoke around that when it came open when they fired Clay Helton. So maybe that's why Franklin is just hanging in the wind. He could go back, get him when USC wins, that's a good job.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's the same thing with LSU. When LSU is winning, it's a great job.
Duke, you're going to have, speaking of NFL jobs, you're going to have Titans open, Browns open.
I don't think they fire Stefanski.
I think they do.
I don't think so. I mean, the fans are going to go nuts, but does Haslam really care? If he cared, he wouldn't have. And here's the other thing. I know college football show, but here's a snapshot into this. Do not be shocked if they keep Stefanski and Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback week 1 for the Browns.
Oh, Browns fans are going to be so pissed.
Oh, yeah. And Eamon here chimes in. It says Kiffin would tell USC to F off and hold that press conference probably from the tarmac. Yeah. I could see Kiffin doing something like that. But if Sark gets plucked to the NFL, the top 3 candidates for Texas, in my opinion, would be Saban, Urban, Lane. Ryan Day wins another natty. He could go to the league. Yeah, Ohio State could come open if Ryan Day wins another one.
Yeah.
I think he was.
Because Ryan. Go ahead. Sorry.
Here's just my opinion on this. I know we'll wrap this up and get everybody out of here on this fine Friday night, but Here's the other thing, too. If Ohio State comes open, I think Ryan Day was a finalist for the New England job. I don't have any way of proving that. Some people that are in Day's corner will come out and say, "Oh, he was never in the running. He's locked in." Blah 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 blah. Just like when other people were linked to the Texas job.
He was a coordinator with the Eagles and the Niners with Chip.
He doesn't displace Vrabel. Oh, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, Vrabel's got it rolling at New England, but I think that if Sark wants to go to the NFL, you don't have to deal with the transfer portal, and you don't have to deal with the kids. You don't have to deal with a lot of it.
No.
So I don't think Cleveland's a destination, but I think I could see Sark being the head coach of the Titans. I mean, he's had NFL interviews. I mean, if you go back to the Lane Kiffin thing, him and Lane both interviewed for the Ravens, and they picked Sark. But to preface the whole thing, I think Florida's up Schitt's Creek if all these jobs come open. I don't know who they're going to get.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We still got a lot of ball left. Oh, shit. We still got a lot of ball left. I don't even know. I couldn't even name you one person.
Because if you're Florida, if I'm Florida, I take the chance and the swing and try to hire Hartline. He's been kicking your ass in recruiting. The one thing that you would have is that you would have good players.
Right. You keep your players in state instead of going to Ohio State.
Right. And I think that's a major blow to Day losing Hartline. Then which I think he would replace him with. I think Keenan Bailey would be the wide receivers coach.
Wide outs coach.
But here's the other thing nobody's talking about. Matt Patricia. Does he get a look at a head coaching job in college? He seems like he's loving it.
Yeah.
If you're Penn State, do you hire Matt Patricia?
That's a good question, Duke. I don't know. I don't have the answer for that.
And
I don't know.
We'll wrap this up soon, I promise, Rich.
No, you're fine.
Let's just say in a world where Texas, Oklahoma, USC, Penn State, Florida, LSU are all open, where do those jobs rank? Because Penn State and Florida are behind all of them. They're behind USC, they're behind LSU, they're behind Texas, and they're behind Oklahoma, in my opinion. They're behind all of them. And don't forget, Oklahoma State's open too.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
We are at an unprecedented time in college football, Duke.
Well, this is all Penn State's fault. I am blaming Penn State for this.
Oh, I agree.
Because I don't think they did themselves any favors by where does Ohio State fall in that ranking? Who would they go after? See, that's the other thing. Here's the top jobs. Texas, LSU, Ohio State, USC. Those are the top 4 jobs. Put them in whatever order you want. If they would go to the NFL, which it would cause mass chaos. It really would.
Oh, it would.
Because if I'm Ryan Day, you can do what Matt Rule did. Go to the NFL. If you get your ass kicked, you're going to get a bunch of money, and then you can go back to college. Yeah. Because a top program would hire you instantly.
Yes. Yep.
And see, this is where guys like Lane Kiffin that have proof of concept hold a ton of power. Same thing with Sark. Now, granted, if Sark's NFL dream could crumble, if they falter, he's got to win out. He's got to beat Georgia. He's got to beat Vandy. He's got to beat A&M.
Right.
Because I don't think the Texas folks are going to take anything less than the playoffs. Eamon says, I bet Ohio State would be smart enough to have a replacement already named. The same press conference day announced that he was leaving. No difference than Meyer today. I think that that's a real possibility. But also, who does, let's say all of that happens, and let's say just play along here. With all those jobs open, let's say Ohio State hires Marcus Freeman, then Notre Dame is open. Where does it stop? That's the problem I have. Where does it stop?
Duke, it doesn't. It's not going to.
Because in my opinion, Kiffin holds a ton of cards. And if Sark loses out and gets fired, I guess he could go to Florida or something. But at the end of the day, the guys that are in the playoffs, they can't take a job in the middle of January, 3 weeks before spring ball. Could you imagine Kiffin in the Big Ten? That would be awesome. Signetti and Kiffin at Media Day would be hilarious. Yeah, it would. But I don't think Kiffin. The Penn State people keep on spinning out there. Keep an eye on Oxford, Mississippi. He's not going to Penn State.
No chance.
I could dig into that and see what I could find out, but I would say it would be no shot. But I don't know where this ends.
It hurts my head to think.
Well, just think of it this way. If your coach gets hired in the NFL, you really can't blame him for leaving.
No.
And let's just say we just get funny with it and Heupel slides in the pride and takes the Oklahoma job. Lane Kiffin go back to Tennessee?
I'm sure they'd love him back.
I don't know. Kiffin wouldn't go to Penn State. He'd love to be somewhere where he can continue to troll. Well, my thing is on the Penn State side of things, I think they're going to get their feelings hurt, and I think Florida's going to get their feelings hurt because there's going to be bigger jobs open.
Yeah. Yep.
So I guess we can end it there. Appreciate everybody who's been watching. If you can do us the biggest favor, hit the like and subscribe button. And hopefully we'll be back tomorrow streaming Vandy, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and then the big old night game, Oklahoma, Tennessee. So with that being said, appreciate everybody. If you can do us the biggest favor, hit the like and subscribe button. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
Have a great Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.